Hey everyone, it's Russian with Jason once again. Welcome back. We're still on day 2 today, and if you followed along with the previous lesson, you will know that we did LingQ. We did a LingQ lesson here. We did lesson 2. Let me find it here. Greetings and goodbyes. And we did lesson 2, and now we're going to move on just to some audio. I thought, this conversation was a little bit too short. We got some good practice and everything, but there just wasn't much context here. So let's get into some more practice today with some more Russian. And I went to apronus.com/learn-russian/learn-russian.htm. I'll put a link in the description below. And yeah, so basically what Apronus is about is it was created by these Poles who learned English by getting lots of input. So their idea is to immerse yourself in Russian by listening everywhere. And we're going to try and do that today. We're just going to be listening through these lessons here. So what's really cool is that they actually broke down some sentences and gave the English translation. So let's just go ahead and go through these. All right, let's get started.
Russian lessons for beginners. Apronus.com. Lesson 1.
Как вас зовут?
All right, so how or what, and then you have your name or what are you called, right? And this is the formal you, by the way.
Меня зовут Джон Лупин.
So I call myself, or my name is John Lupin. Okay.
Как у вас дела?
Okay, how are you? This is like, you can add this in, I know. You can just say this and this to mean how are you, but this specifies whether it's formal, right?
Хорошо, спасибо.
Again, they have thank you, good, rather than, good, thanks.
Очень хорошо.
So we haven't come across this word yet, and it means very, so very well. Okay, that's good to know.
Как его зовут?
All right, so here we have what is your name, and then we have what is his name. And as we can see, these are both pretty similar, right? So this is the difference, his and your name, okay?
Как ее зовут?
We got her name, okay?
Его зовут Джеймс Лупин.
His name is James Lupin. And then you say, my name is, so it looks like just this first part changes.
Ее зовут Марта.
Her name's Marta. Okay.
Откуда вы?
Where are you from? And again, this is the formal you here, okay?
Откуда он?
Where's he from?
Откуда она?
Where's she from?
Кем вы работаете?
All right, so this is similar to Ukrainian, so it's like work or what's your job. That's a good way to translate it. And then just like what is your, again, this is a formal way of saying it. I'm not really sure why you have this versus this BAC here, and this is like B little BL. I don't know the name of these letters, but let's just keep going.
Кем он работает? Кем она работает?
All right, so you have what's his job and what's her job. So here's the difference. Okay, well, it has the A at the end for a female, so that's easier.
Он доктор.
He's a doctor.
Она учительница.
She's a teacher.
Какой у тебя номер телефона? Какой у него номер телефона?
All right, so we had compared to English, it looks like you don't really have for this. So it's just he doctor, she teacher. And I know that it's going to be a little bit different if it was a male teacher. This means female teacher, right? But you don't really translate it that way. So the ending's going to be different, but just keep that in mind for the future. What is your telephone number? Like a lot of these are just going to be fixed phrases we're going to have to learn. So what is his telephone number? Okay. Let's keep going.
Мой номер телефона 321 77 03.
Okay, if you didn't catch that, so these are the numbers that he said at the end, but it's just my telephone number and then numbers. You don't really need to say the is. Oh, that didn't work.
Какой у тебя адрес?
What's your
Какой
address?
у нее адрес?
What's her address?
Сколько тебе лет?
So like I said, a lot of these are going to be fixed phrases you're just going to have to learn, but this means how many, like how many years do you have? Something like that, right? How old is he? This just changes. This is her, I'm guessing, right? Yeah, how old is she? Okay, let's keep going.
Сколько ему лет? Сколько ей лет? Мне 20 лет.
I'm 20.
Ему 50 лет.
He's 50.
Ей 18 лет.
She's 18.
Это правильно.
That's right.
Это неправильно.
It's wrong.
Я не знаю.
I don't know.
У вас есть собака?
Do you have a dog?
Какой сегодня?
All right, so do you have is like this part here. And again, this is the formal part. This means dog. This means like what or how. What day is today? Let's go into that.
День. Сегодня воскресенье.
Day, Sunday. Today's Sunday.
Когда ты работаешь?
When do you work?
Я сейчас иду в школу.
Okay, so let's... Oh,
Russian lesson.
looks like we finished. So this is now, right? Let's just translate this, see how it works. Now, okay. Going. Right? This is like I'm going, right? I now am going to school. Now these endings might change depending on the context of the sentence. That is what makes Russian a little bit tricky. This must mean when, right? When do you work? Now, we saw the formal you up here. Let's take a look. Where were you? There we go. Now, this is the informal you. It starts with this T letter here. So this is like, when do you work? And you can see that the conjugations are a little bit different, right? So this is like the conjugation for formal you. This is like conjugation for him. And for her, it looks like they're the same. And then you have a different conjugation for informal you. And of course, we need to listen to this again. So I'm not going to be saying anything this time. We just want to go through this and make sure that we get as much listening practice as we can.
Lessons for beginners. Apronus.com. Lesson 1.
Как вас зовут? Меня зовут Джон Лупин. Как у вас дела? Хорошо, спасибо. Очень хорошо. Как его зовут? Как ее зовут? Его зовут Джеймс Лупин. Ее зовут Марта. Откуда вы? Откуда он? Откуда она? Кем вы работаете? Кем он работает? Кем она работает? Он доктор. Она учительница. Какой у тебя номер телефона? Какой у него номер телефона? Мой номер телефона 321 77 03. Какой у тебя адрес? Какой у нее адрес? Сколько тебе лет? Сколько ему лет? Сколько ей лет? Мне 20 лет. Ему 50 лет. Ей 18 лет. Это правильно. Это неправильно. Я не знаю. У вас есть собака? Какой сегодня день? Сегодня воскресенье. Когда ты работаешь? Я сейчас иду в школу.
All right, if you didn't get all those, that's okay. But yeah, they even recommend doing background listening. You can make a playlist of the 23 recordings and put them on while you do other things like walking. Of course, background listening is no replacement for conscious study, but it can help you pick up the rhythm of the Russian language, its sounds, and even some grammar. So yeah, so this guy speaks pretty slowly, and I'm pretty sure this is a native speaker from Moscow. Yeah, an educated Russian native speaker from Moscow. And this time we have a male speaker. And we have a total of 725 sentences. I verified with a Russian speaker that these phrases actually were the correct translation. I haven't done that for lesson 2 yet, but I'll make sure to do that before we get into it. I remember someone telling me that one of these phrases, the translation was a little bit off. The Russian was correct, of course, but just the English translation, there was a small error, like in one or two of these out of the first 200 or so. I don't really remember, but if you were to remember, all 725 of these very well, not even remember, just understand them very fluently with not even thinking about what they mean, then that's a really good start. So I think we may actually transition to here. And what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to try and find out how I can take this audio file here and break down each of these individual sentences into individual audio pieces, and then we can put them on a flashcard software such as Anki. And I think that'll be really good, and I can go ahead and post that to the description below, and then all you guys would be able to download that and practice. And again, I always say this in every video, but don't forget to write it out. It helps like with remembering. So as you can see here, I did that for a previous lesson. I wrote out all the phrases. So I'll probably do all 36. There's not too many. That'll take me not too long. So I'll probably listen, pause, write down, listen, pause, write down, and repeat that. But yeah, this will be really useful because we actually have set phrases that are really good and we have the audio with it. So I think this will be really good practice that we go through all of these. Let's try one more time and just get one last listen in. Why not while we're together?
Russian lessons for beginners. Apronus.com. Lesson 1.
Как вас зовут? Меня зовут Джон Лупин. Как у вас дела? Хорошо, спасибо. Очень хорошо. Как его зовут? Как ее зовут? Его зовут Джеймс Лупин. Ее зовут Марта. Откуда вы? Откуда он? Откуда она? Кем вы работаете? Кем он работает? Кем она работает? Он доктор. Она учительница. Какой у тебя номер телефона? Какой у него номер телефона? Мой номер телефона 321 77 03. Какой у тебя адрес? Какой у нее адрес? Сколько тебе лет? Сколько ему лет? Сколько ей лет? Мне 20 лет. Ему 50 лет. Ей 18 лет. Это правильно. Это неправильно. Я не знаю. У вас есть собака? Какой сегодня день? Сегодня воскресенье. Когда ты работаешь? Я сейчас иду в школу.
All right, that was great. I'm definitely going to download this. So to download, just click here. Or wait, you should be able to download this. All right, you might have to right click and inspect and see if we open this in another tab here. And yeah, and then you can download like
Russian
this.
lessons for beginners.
Okay.
Apronus.
Anyways, so one quick thing I forgot to mention in previous videos. So yeah, I do have experience learning Cyrillic. If you don't know Cyrillic and you want to learn, the best way, honestly, is to just read and write, and eventually you'll just pick it up naturally. That's how I did it. So I'm like, oh, this is the word for how, and then I'd play and be like, okay, that's how it sounds, and then I write it down, and eventually you start to get a feel for the phonetics of the language. So it's like, you're like, how do I pronounce this? Like, or how do I pronounce this? You'll just get a feel as the more you read it. You don't actually need to study it and be like, oh, this individually sounds like this. This individually sounds like this. This individually sounds like this. And I don't even recommend doing that. This will be a much more natural way of doing it, and you're getting in listening and reading practice as you go, and eventually you'll understand that, oh, the Y kind of sounds like this, and you'll just know it naturally. And that's how I did it. And I'd say it took me about 2 weeks, like an hour a day maybe, and you'll pick it up pretty quickly, so don't worry about that. Anyways, let's cut it off here. Thanks, guys, for listening. If you did like this video and you want me to make more, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. It really helps me out and it motivates me to make more videos. Again, there will be links in the description for LingQ. I don't have the page up now, and I'll put a link for this Apronus page. And good luck with learning Russian, and we'll see you in the next lesson.